center where the products are engineered and delivered to customers, meeting their expectations. We have about 4,200 engineers working for automotive product development in this center. We have about 250 engineers working only in software defined code. We call it as MSDC. We have a center in Bangalore in software. We have a couple of people, hundreds of people working in software, liaising with production centers. Somewhere in September 20, we launched one vehicle, but we launched twins. In this land of Tamil Nadu, this symbol has an undefeatable representation. Some of you know the meaning of this. Victorious. As we go forward 2 hours, 15 minutes of this session, you will hear what we set out to define the Everest standards for electrification. Over 2,200 engineers worked tirelessly for about 6 years, starting in 2004, designing the first model that we saw in September 2021. We were completely blown away. We are told we wanted to productize that, and the product management team came up and said all the business features available in the world, we want to have it in this car. It's 60 and 90. We put all of that together, and then we gave it to the engineering team, and the 2,200 engineering strong force sitting there executed them for over 3 years and handed over to the production team sitting in Scotland. In the meanwhile, the SSU team highly collaborated to develop over 5,000 tools and 9,000 tools and pictures to productionize these 2 vehicles, and we are ready for very ready with the production. The SSU team brought many suppliers, over 168 suppliers and 110 software suppliers to this. Never we have done such a scale of operation. The production team has a complete brand new body shop here to productionize these. It's absolutely mind-blowing to see those operations. And then to set everything rest is the marketing and sales and operations team. Today what you are going to see. It's a time when we each and every one of you and welcome all of you to witness the next 2.5 hours, the unfolding of Unlimited India, the 12 icons of India, and the leaders who set the vision for us to take this forward. Mr. Anish Shah, I invite you to come to the stage, please.
जिस बंदे की 2015 में मौत हो गई थी, बंदे को 10 साल बाद 2025 में बीजेपी ने अपना सिंदूर मार गिराया।
Welcome to a historic moment in India.
He will put the
We're
coding
here
into
today
it
to electrify India
and that's the bringing the hardware
and to celebrate
architecture,
the
software
theme
architecture,
of
differently and
Unlimited
functional
India.
architecture. Then we connect to cloud,
This is a
call it
theme
as an SDV. And
that
from
embodies
here on,
और वेरीफाई
not
अकाउंट का
one of the
where
benefits
onwards we
that
can
India
go
has
to our cause and
across
we connect it to the
economics,
it's intuitive, it's intelligent,
culture,
and
sustainability, and technology.
एपीसी
It
आरबी
is
का
about
अकाउंट चाहिए।
celebrating where India stands in the world today and the kind of product that we make. That it isn't all about life. Over the centuries, India has been a leader, and it's our time now to lead again. Over the next 5 years, India will add as much GDP to the for its art,
भाई
for its
महिंद्रा ने
craft,
वीडियो बनाई है कभी
to be able to experience what India has to offer.
From
From the
the
depths
took all
of
these
Tamil Nadu,
nine organs or
to
I
the
call it
sculpture
always the
created by the Mughals in North India,
can you come up please?
पत्ता गुरु आएंगे
this has always been a place that has inspired people.
पत्ता गुरु जी आ जाएंगे
And as we go around the world, we see the
Good morning,
influence
good
of
morning.
Bollywood movies
You know,
and Indian cuisine as
India
well.
dreamed of freedom 79 years ago and
Over the
achieved
last
it, and
few
all of
years,
us are here today.
India has taken the
डिजाइन
lead
We as the global Mahindra design team
टीम का
a
है ये
sustainable
dream
planet,
of a platform like this
while the
that
rest of the
really
world
lets us
has
express
made commitments
design
ग्लोबल
and
डिजाइन
secure
ग्लोबल
and
रास्ता
sometimes
ग्लोबल
more
ग्लोबल
people
ग्लोबल
with
पूरी
5
का
India
brands.
stands firm.
विश्व में
And today we'll show you products
India
across
leads the
3
way
of them, or
in
in
ensuring
that
that we leave
direction.
behind a planet
But
for our
at the
children
start of any
that they will look
project,
back and thank us for.
we ask ourselves a few fundamental questions.
And finally,
And the questions that
technology,
are hardest to answer actually
the
get the
innovation that
most
we've seen in
creativity
India over
out
the
of
years
us. They push us,
has only
and they
grown
push
with
us to
time
find something new.
to a point where we are creating very
When we
high
set
quality
out
products.
to define our vision for the products that
Take
will
the auto
come
sector as an
on
example.
UIQ, we kept our hardcore
25 years ago,
philosophy in the front and center of
All the
everything
major
we
players
did.
in the world started entering
As you
India,
know, hardcore is about falling in
and
love.
we had to compete with them.
It's about designing hardcore SUVs
Today, we can
straight
stand
from the
tall
heart.
to say that we make
And
products
in
that
that
are
field, we found
the best in the world from a
that
quality
opposites
standpoint.
attract was going to be
And you as a
central
customer,
to every
give us
product
that
that we would
validation.
design on
So
this
the market share we
UIQ.
have today,
It was going to be the flavor of our
so the
solutions.
long wait times we
And
have
they
today
also
because
frame
you just come in
our
and
questions.
ask for more and more and more of Mahindra products. And that's what
So
India has to
we
offer.
said, when opposites attract, sparks
Unlimited
really
India.
fly.
That is our theme,
The first
because
question
that's
we
what we are
asked
following.
was,
As
can
Mahindra,
new,
we are
can
unbounded.
new be iconic?
We are
You know, for
dreaming
something
big.
to become iconic,
We
it
want to
takes
create
time. It has
products
to live in the
that
world. It
people
has to
look at
live
and
amongst
say,
people.
wow, I
It
do
has to be
not
loved and
expect
appreciated. So
of
we
any
said,
company in the
if
world.
can something
Wow,
be
you
born
delivered something
iconic?
that's
Let me
outstanding.
take you through a little bit of the design
That's what
process
we've done.
for two
And that's what
vision
we will show you
products,
today.
two vision SUVs, one called the Vision
Because
T
for us,
and one called
that is
the
our
Vision
dream.
SXT.
The ability to be bold, to be agile, and work together across a team to deliver something that you will look at and be astounded by.
With our
Like
colleagues at MRV. Proportion is at the heart of every product we design. How do you get authentic SUVs both visually and
दोस्तों यूं
functionally?
गर्मा गर्म चाय पीने से ना आपकी
Something
लाइफ
that
की
has
प्रॉब्लम
the
सॉल्व होगी
ability
आपकी
of
सैलरी
being able
ग्रोथ
to
होगी
see
अगर आप
how
सैलरी
we
ग्रोथ चाहते
express
हो
that in
तो
design.
कि माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एक्सेल
So
को मास्टर करें
that's what we
कि
start.
माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एक्सेल मार्च
Surfaces comes
2024
next,
का एक ऐसा
really
सॉफ्टवेयर बन चुका है
sculpted,
जो हर
really
डिपार्टमेंट
strong,
में ऑफिस
strong shoulders,
क्या
strong
आपको
wheel arches,
उसका फॉर्मूला आता है
give
अब
you
तक
that
नहीं आता
sense
ना
of
आपने
ability.
सीखा हुआ है आप क्या
And
सोचते हो कि
finally,
नहीं आता
the
कि
details.
चाय फील्ड पर सॉल्व हो
God
जाएगा
lies in the
आपको डैशबोर्ड
details,
बनाने आता है
said
नहीं
Miss
आता है आपको
Mahindra,
तो चाय
the
पीने का प्रॉब्लम
architect.
सॉल्व हो जाएगा
And we truly
चाय है
believe
ना
that the
आपका
details
स्ट्रेस
should be part of it.
ये आपको थोड़ी टाइम के लिए रिलैक्स कर सकता है लेकिन अगर आप रियल
Next,
सारी प्रॉब्लम को दूर करना चाहते हो
we come to the
इम्प्रेस करना
interiors.
चाहते हो सैलरी हाइक चाहते
Interiors
हो
are also
माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के
about
पास एक
proportion.
सिंगल
How
पॉइंट
do
आता
they
है
make people
उसमें
feel?
उसको मास्टर करो
What is the
मोर
width
देन
of the cabin? What is the sense of space beyond the measurements
आप सोचोगे सर
that
आप
we are
बातें
given?
बहुत अच्छी कर
How
रहे
do
हो
you
ये
feel the
हमारे सर का
emptiness?
दर्द बना हुआ है और
What do
शायद
the colors
दर्द
do?
दूर
What do
हो
the
जाए हम
materials
इसे
do?
दूर करना चाहते हैं सर बता दो
What
कैसे
role does
मैं
it play in building
माइक्रोसॉफ्ट
an
में
authentic
मैं आपको इनवाइट
brand?
करता हूँ अपने
So
16
these
साल
are
के
the ways
एक्सपीरियंस के
we
हिसाब से मैं
work
आपके
through
लिए
proportion,
एक गाइड
surface, details, and interior. And of course, the design team
नो बकवास
globally,
नो टाइम पास
both
सीधा
in the
काम
UK
पे
and
फॉलो
here in
आज
Mumbai,
मैं प्रैक्टिस चली जाऊँ
work
इस
to
3
that
घंटे के वर्कशॉप में एक
minute
फॉर्मूला
level
बताऊंगा
in
दूसरा
everything
फॉर्मूला
we do.
बताऊंगा प्रैक्टिस
So
करो
let
आप
me show you
वहाँ से एक्सेल
a
मास्टर
little
बना
clip on what the Vision T and the Vision SXT
नीचे दिए गए लिंक पर क्लिक
are meant
करो
to
और
do.
मैं रास्ते आपको वर्कशॉप कर अब आप सोच रहे होगे सर हम चाहते हैं आपका परफॉर्मेंस
अभी बस लाइन में
ज्यादा हो नहीं आप वन लाइन नो नो नेसेसरी सॉन्ग
इधर
आपको
लाइन खड़ा है कोई
सब
बच्चा नहीं
क्रेडिट
देगा
3 से ज्यादा कंपनी का ट्रेनर एक माइक्रोसॉफ्ट सर्टिफाइड ट्रेनर होने के बाद भी आपके लिए कम प्राइस में हो सकता है क्योंकि हमने पर्सनली सर्च तो अगर इतना सर्च करता है तो सब कुछ रैंडम
ये फाइनल
आप
बोलर नहीं है
बस आपको फॉर्म बस ऊपर एक आप नेक्स्ट डे ऑफिस में जाओगे ना डैशबोर्ड बना पाओगे वर्टिकल बना पाओगे इंटरैक्टिव डैशबोर्ड बना पाओगे मल्टीपल चीजें तब लगाना आपको आ जाएगा बड़े कॉम्प्लेक्स फॉर्मूला की वजह से सीखोगे मल्टीपल फॉर्मूला को क्या करेंगे नया फॉर्मूला सर चैलेंज के साथ
ये अमेरिकन बन जाएगा ना गाड़ी कर रहा है तो गाड़ी है
अभी नहीं तो कभी नहीं और मैं Thank you so much, Anish, for setting that context. A higher order context of what unlimited India is about. The history of India, the origin of how India has on the world. And it has this is a historic moment. Because here is a multinational that's ready to take on the world. Step on the world. Not us. Origin entities will put us on the will put India on the map. And history has shown that whenever that has entered, the extraordinary also happened. When Michelangelo fell in love with art, the world of art, when Newton fell in love with science, the world of science, when Edison fell in love with light, the world lit up. And when a single man passionate for technology laid out, it left the world abuzz, even when the phone buzzes on a silent mode in our pockets. So this passion, this love is boundless. And when that happens, it doesn't just shape lives. It inspires us to break off boundaries. And we understand as we get into the flow of our communication today, let me begin with the first section, which is about an insight that drove us to create the central brand idea and an identity of who we are and what we stand for. So the insight was around a very, very deep-rooted, powerful emotion, which is love. It's eternal, it's timeless, it's the basis of all creation. It inspires our deepest choices and it redefines who we are. And I'm sure you all will agree that as we go through this journey of uncovering the layers of love, it begins with a spark, but it grows much, much richer with time. And it has no boundaries and it has no limits. So the insight is about timeless emotion, timeless choices, and a deep rooted emotion of love, which is eternal. So, with that as a central idea of unlimited love,
Let's you all to please take your seats. We have more and more excitement about that. Please, I request you.
let me share with
Please
you
get back
what's
to
the
your
central
seats
brand
and view.
idea. Unlimited love inspires us to live a life without any limits. Our customers seek experiences that unlimit their lives. It makes them feel alive, unlimits their potential in every way. And this begins maybe with love at first sight, but it becomes richer with time. And so the insight is about experience unlimited love. Through our products, which are crafted for an unmissable presence, unparalleled technology, and unrivaled performance. And this, in a sense, is who we are. We stand for unlimited. That's what we stand for. The brand identity. It's about
Sir, I think
unlimited.
the
It
unmissable presence was
identifies,
quite
or
clear
it
to
says
see. It should be
identity
now go.
symbolizes infinite possibilities, and that's what we are. It combines the symbol, the infinite symbol with the letter N. They come together. It embodies singularity and a
Put your
commitment.
hands together and give a clap to
And
Mr.
that's what
Guru.
actually life stands for.
Thank you, Pradap. We don't leave you here,
It's about constantly
You
seeking
made it
change,
4.3.
constantly seeking
But what happens to
and
those who
diverse
are just
experiences.
below 4?
And
That's
it
true.
actually
That's
represents
true.
our
I don't
journey
know
of
what the
constant
answer
growth and
is.
No,
evolution,
but
because that's
you
what
and your team came up with such an incredible one,
can you
right?
please have the
So,
remote.
Pradap Guru came up with certain ideas and then he said, we are not going to disturb the platform and we are going to
visual entity in terms of proportion.
of the
चार गाड़ी लॉन्च कर दी तो
Then we move
ये
to
गाड़ी
the
वाली आएगी
surfaces. When I said sculpture, this is where two surfaces come together and leave a mark. That's the design language of the Vision X. They don't just blend into each other. They live on their own, but when they come together, they come together beautifully. And you can see that in the design sketches that our designers make.
But your question is, what
Surfaces also
we took a
talk about how light moves around the car, and that's what it is about
what's
movement.
happening in the
And finally, we come to the gorgeous details. We spend as much time, if not more, on the details than anything else. That's what touch, feel, see, come close to.
roughly about 21 cities.
And last but not the least,
And our
it's our interior design and materials. This is, again, a cockpit-like
that we learned is it is not the
or a fighter plane-like cockpit,
the number of
but
hours
nice expansive space. The instrument panel gives you that sense of space that we talk about, but everything is wrapped quite tight around you,
we have seen it.
and everything flows beautifully from one to the other.
Back
And that
says that
is, in short,
only
the
one
Vision X. Now let me show you what the Vision X would look like on the streets. Can we have the AV, please?
Okay, people ask me, okay, you are saying one in there 7 days. Do I need for 24 hours, or 42 hours, or how many hours? It is a 7-day story of you don't now. So he was standing and watching. We are going to say, don't be or 7 days story. This is the first time from 20% to 80%. Because 30 minutes. I pump it at 400 ampere for 6 minutes
स्पोर्ट्स कार बनाना
battery. You need a transfer cooling, you need an electric back, you need an electric arcing technology. And that's exactly is happening here. You get 20 minutes
अब आगे निकल के वो
and process is 167 days, 500 days, only 20 minutes I spent with my vehicle. On the way, we wanted to validate the launch market of 1600. Also, the class event, 16,000 validate how our vehicle is the customer. We have validated the what happens to water immersion? What happens to sample and what happens to immersion?
विजन एक्स है
An
विजन एक्स
extensive test that has been done. But let me show one of the examples of how we have tested the manufacturing line for 40,500 hours, and that's at the same and run
सब कौन आया
5 lakh kilometers.
गाड़ी आ तो थोड़ी ना बजा
Put it in perspective, it's roughly about 5.5 million. But put it in perspective, the Earth's circumference is
विजन एक्स है
75.
आज के बारे में आगे
Earth's circumference is 75. And you have pack. Nothing should happen to the battery pack. No leak, no thermal fire, no thermal runaway. Nothing should happen. We have done it for you. This is not fine. We should send just constantly water, but just clear the water, the fire, pretty much. Put the battery in the water. The thing what happens. And you can ask me, is the better? Better no. They would 100% charge the battery and put it in the water and keep it constantly. Water, what you get next is vibration. You saw 0.8G loads that were coming in the tire when it vibrated. I have analyzed from 8 cents of the vibration. And you are important in the point. You are collecting them in the vibration. You totally see them in what happens. We have to get it. The lab that you are seeing also checking the event of the cut of the metal track or a pipe track, which is a subject. And we get it on board of the electric electric track. I definitely put the signatures of gasoline and put the plate and then bring the battery back and set it for at least 3 minutes. You can be sure the test engine burning time. And then you can find 79 kilowatt of energy. It's a fully charged battery and it is undergoing the thermal test. In villages, if you want to prove the garden, just put out the fire after after you have served the offering or anything. And that's how it has come out. All this we have the fire, water, vibration. You may have that I put the battery pack into the water. Then what happens to the entire thing in the water? I wanted to have done very much because of the weather conditions. So once we recorded it, we recorded about 11 o'clock. We recorded it, and I'm asking for the video to be played. Can you play the video, please?
Now at Mahindra, we
Then
don't,
the
we
remaining you
don't
will see
do
it
things small, we go large. So as you know, there's one more product we would like to show you on the same new IQ architecture. Can we move to that slide? The Vision S, please. So the question we asked here when we were designing the Vision S is solid still be sporty? That's the opposites attract. I'll take you through the process, and like you know, we make hundreds of sketches across the design studios. Again, it starts with proportion. We are blessed with great proportion in this architecture. You know, this makes the life of the design team easy. I don't want to use that term. Literally, my team will kill me. But I think when you've got solid proportions like this, designing a phenomenal SUV on top of that becomes much easier. So you can see, even while it's tall, it's still wide, it's still planted on its wheels, on its arches. With that ground clearance, that's going to be classy. So how would you create the interior of a car like this? It's the same thing. Sense of space, all the controls where you need them. And many of you have asked me this question. Is HMI going to go completely digital, or are we going to bring back some buttons? And as you can see here, it will be a great combination of digital and physical, and it runs the new UX that you saw in Velison's presentation. Now, where would how do we see the visuals? Let's see the video.
That we will explain as we go forward. He is our intelligence, Mahindra's as you know, we wanted to set benchmark of the experience. Wow. Software on basically drive like technology. We have more than 3 displays. We have close to 6 displays. Advanced neural engineering, which can watch your and take actions. You need an engine for that. You need a connected technology. And you need a smart lighting system and monitoring. And you need a power cyber security that nobody can breach. And this architecture is completely broad, different way of what we call as hardware. We bring in the hardware platform and in software, then we build the middleware separately, and then car operating system, and then we install the Mahindra stack, and then we install all the apps, applications. So we have close to more than 30 apps installed in the car that you will experience it. But the beauty of it, I can keep changing the app without affecting the platform software or the middleware or the car operating system. We have brought first time
ये
autonomous
प्लेयरों में
architecture that allows me to do this. Nowhere in Indian cars this feature you will see.
प्लेयरों में ये
Enabling
जोड़ी गाड़ी है
OTA or whatever you call it as any software
ये आने
any
वाला
of
है भाई
these applications
सुपर ड्राइवर ये आने वाला है
or a single software I can over the TV can change. I don't require to completely upgrade the software. I can just do it only the back. And that is what
ऐसे आई
the
बुलेट
whole software
और
defined
ये छोटी गाड़ी
architecture.
बहुत
It
ही
adds
गाड़ी
value to
तो
the
ये
vehicle
50 ले रहे
as
हैं
it
ले रहे हैं
changes
उसकी गाड़ियाँ हैं
because you keep adding software and applications to this.
आगे देखिए
That needed a hardware architecture. Traditionally, you have a gateway, and in the gateway, you connect multiple and then you connect the gateway to cloud. All the issues are talking to the cloud, and
उनको
the
देगा
gateway
इसको नहीं देगा
but a complete change is needed in the architecture. We brought high performance cockpit, ADAS, and connected them in cloud and doing independent work, and all the other issues we have supported them with a backbone of Ethernet system. The Ethernet system communicates at 1 gigabyte per second. 1 gigabyte per second. The CAN systems are 500 kbps. So it's
ले जा
order of magnitude different.
नहीं ले जा ले जा ले जा ले जाएगी
Okay, when you bring this system, what is the performance?
सब्जी वैसे ठीक ही है मैंने फ्रिज में रखा हुआ
It's
था
like A plus B is equal to C, that was two standard generic calculations, that is GDP. But you needed a very flowing graphical representation in the all the three screens in the front and in the rear screens and the rear and the all. You needed high-end graphical performance. We brought the EPU with 3100 gigaflop floating floating point operation.
ये ठीक है
Not only that, you have video and the video has to be processed. So we brought a video processing control unit into the vehicle. And these videos have to be displayed in several displays. So we have a display processing unit and its mount. We brought 5G, we brought Bluetooth, and we brought Wi-Fi. This car provides Wi-Fi. And those are next generation technology. As you see, top 1 and with 130 billion lines code, this Maya is one of the most powerful minds in automotive world. It sets a new benchmark in giving experience. I was asking my engineers, how can I compare? Can I compare with any of the existing vehicles? They said there are one vehicle in Germany and there are one vehicle in Germany in production and rest of them are in development. How do I communicate? They said, okay, the nearest one you can take. You cannot take your current ICE vehicles, but you can take the nearest one mobile phone. I was surprised to put this number, but you can see 110, 220, the D flop and so on. In every parameter, whether it is in A is the NP, and the DP is the graphical processing power, and the computational power, you are way above. The mobile is using one screen, but we use multiple. I think it's
बता दियो
better
कुछ
than
नहीं हो
so let's go to individual systems. The individual systems that you see here, the Qualcomm is the cockpit controller, one of the three high performance computing systems that we said has the maximum power in our system. My colleagues, when they show it, they will show you beams of 200K, unimaginable calculative performance and tops. It's processed with 5 nano, first time in the industry that's coming for automotive industry. 5 nano comes from Snapdragon cockpit technology. We have a graphical processor which is called Adreno, and it's a 6th generation that we have installed. You will see the graphical performance of our car is awesome with 120 frames per second. For watching a movie, you need 24 frames per second. This is operating at 120 frames per second. It's way above any industry standards. Wi-Fi connectivity, Bluetooth, and we have AWS cloud to augment its performance. Voice it. And then we wanted an ADAS system that works AI. The sixth generation Mobileye, we call it as an EQ6, is the most best performance system that is tuned to the Indian one, and of course, it detects cows. And we have an auto park unit, DI-TDA2, and we have a Qualcomm chip that is monitoring cabin and your eyeballs. That's the AI suite that is installed in our car. If you were to summarize the whole system performance in multiple ways, whether it is graphical visual performance or AI or this computing power, it sets new benchmarks for both 6E and 9E. To show and to summarize what the Maya stands for, may I ask the AV to be played, please?
Hello, I am Maya, the Mahindra Artificial Intelligence Architecture, and I'm here to make your world a better place. I'm the fastest automotive mind in the world, performing over 51 trillion operations per second. My name is inspired by the Sanskrit word for magic, because that's what I'm engineered to deliver, and make the unimaginable possible. I am the super brain at the heart of your new e-SUV. The neural system of our super advanced domain architecture. I shape your environment through AI. I am the beating heart. I learn, I adapt, I adjust, evolving to your needs, making every journey a thrilling experience. I detect, I react, I respond. Connecting, communicating, and continually improving. Faster and smarter than anything you can imagine or have experienced. I am the sensory moods, keeping you safe wherever we go. I am your alter ego, your constant guide, your thrill-seeking companion, igniting every journey with acceleration. I am Maya, and I am magic on wheels. Mahindra Electric Origin SUVs.
After Maya, I said, we need the music system. The vehicle is so good that we needed the best music system in the world. We call it as Mahindra Sonic Studio. And we set 5 benchmarks. In the audio system that we have worked with Master A.R. Rahman for over 1 year. And then we realized that we need to set 5 industry benchmarks to achieve. And then we said the spectral balance is something you start with 20 hertz and you end with 20,000 hertz. And every spectrum, you have to be able to hear it very well. The spatial envelope, the 360-degree environment, you should be able to hear it, the music very well in every seat that you sit. We needed a software called Quantum Logic in order to play all your songs. And we needed a venue-scapes, a virtual venue-scape live, that you can duplicate a Wembley Stadium or a Boston Symphony into your car. And none less than Dolby Atoms can do that. And I'm not the best expert. I have Greg, who is the head of automotive acoustic engineering of Gordon. May I invite Mr. Gaik? And Xavier, who is the head of Dolby Atmos, business head of the Dolby Atmos. Both of them joined hands with us and developed this system. I hand it over to you to explain what exactly you did in the Harman Kardon.
Of course. Thank you, Valasan, for this introduction. So, we always start with vision. When Mahindra approached us to design the system, it was not about a regular system. It really was about something where you can develop a true connection to the music. You can almost feel the sound. So we take that vision, we take that challenge, we combine it with the core values of the Harman Kardon band, and work back from that vision into a technology. So how did we achieve this system? First, we need to have the right hardware. So we start with speakers. We have 16 high-performance speakers in the car. A three-way arrangement in the front, woofer, mid-range tweeter. This is for the tonal balance that you have mentioned. We need all of that to be really, to cover the whole spectrum. We have a center speaker to really embed the spatial image in the front of the car. Then we have rear speakers for the experience in the rear seats, surround and hide speakers for a truly immersive experience, and of course, a subwoofer to pump that bass into the cabin. All of these speakers are powered by 1,400 watts amplifier. I mean, this is an insane amount of power, but power is control. And with this amplification, we can control every speaker to deliver the details, the dynamics, even for the most challenging tracks. So the amplifiers is the muscle, is the heart of the system. But also inside this box, we have a signal processor. When we have all tuning parameters and we have our software. And this is where the magic happens. So in the Harman Kardon system, we have plenty of features, customization options, and so on. But I want to talk about the three main hero features. First, quantum logic immersion. So quantum logic immersion takes a regular stereo track, distributes it among all the speakers to create an equal experience on all seats and create a really immersive sound field. You can even control that immersion to suit your individual preference. Then we have Venuescapes Live. And this one is really cool. So you can really transport yourself into some of the most iconic venues in the world. Boston Symphony Hall, Royal Opera House in Mumbai, Wembley Stadium. And not only that, your own voice will echo in these, as if you were in these venues, thanks to the two built-in microphones in the vehicle ceiling. And then we have Dolby Atmos. And Dolby Atmos is, this is a next level audio. This is a true 3D experience. It's special encoded audio, native spatial audio, and you can really hear the sound as intended by the artist.
So as I understand, we put 16 speaker systems and 15 channels, and all the speakers are independently connected, and you can spend any music segment to each speakers and to create an immersive audio experience. Yes. And also you create this. I heard you brought engineers flown from Japan, Germany and US, and you were personally sitting in the car 6C and 9E. I didn't ask you which one you prefer, but you have been sitting in the driver's seat, each of the seats, and you were tuning it personally, and you are doing a PhD in music system. What in these two cars you will say the best standing things compared to the benchmarks?
I would say that these systems allow you to fully immerse yourself in the music. Once you start experiencing the sound, you forget about all these speakers, you forget about the technology, the watts, voltage, and all of that.
Immersive.
It's a true experience.
Yes.
I was inspired today about what I've seen on the stage, and I would say that this system allows you to unlimited love to the music.
Unlimited love to the music. And that takes it to Dolby Atmos. Here is the gentleman who supported us all the way from US. He really supported us to get the Dolby Atmos at the advice of A. Rahman. And we approached him and he said, okay, we will support you. Please tell us the story of how did you do the tuning and brought the best experience.
Well, definitely. I mean, picking on the theme of love, I love that this is the first car produced in India with Dolby Atmos technology. It's amazing. I mean, we heard a little bit about Dolby Atmos. Dolby Atmos is a technology that allows the mixer on the artist to create experiences in the studio that you will personally experience in the car. It gives you that feeling, that love, that unique detail and depth of experience that you only get with something like Dolby Atmos. Now, I was talking about the mixer just before the show, and you remember the old days when we had cassette tapes? You know, mixers used to finish their music in the studio, take the cassette and put it in the car. And that's how they did the final quality test. When it sounded right in the car, they knew the mix was ready. Now with Dolby Atmos, we had a unique studio with lots of speakers all over the place, a unique experience that was difficult to reproduce somewhere else. Now with an Atmos car, we can actually take that same studio experience, bring it to the car, and the mixer on the artist can do the final quality test in the car, just as if they were in the studio. That's really unique.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As you said, the studio quality, it reminds me, how do you experience the studio quality? We were searching for a gentleman who can really assess our car of the studio quality, and we found a person who won 15 Grammy Awards in music scoring in the studio, and he is well known all over the world for his assessment of audio music quality. Mr. Richard King works in the McGill University, and may I request Mr. Richard King to come over, please. And he has been involved as an independent agency to assess our car. He has been spending time with Craig and Xavier and assess the car. And may I ask you to share what is your assessment and experience, and the final, when you drove in MSPT, your experience.
Oh, thank you very much, Featherstone. Thank you. You know, music plays a central role in my life. It always has. And when I'm driving, the music is always on in my car. Helps me focus. It helps me to spark creativity in my thinking, but also it helps me to wind down as well. My career as a sound recording engineer has taken me to all of the top recording studios in the world. And over this time, I've really developed a critical ear for high quality sound. Our field is bridges between art and science, where on the art side, we have human emotion and how we're affected by the music and the lyrics in a song. And on the science side, we think of acoustics, but also clarity, accuracy, and these days now, immersive audio. Javier is absolutely right. I would love to have a Dolby Atmos car in my driveway so I could run out and check my mixes while I'm working. This is really the future. So how do we do all this? Well, it's the tuning phase of the project, and I've been fortunate enough to be invited in to do these evaluations. So where do we start? We look at spectral balance. And I was going to go the other slide first. We'll come to this in a minute. But spectral balance, we're really looking at where we talk about the bass, mid-range, and high frequencies of each instrument in the mix, but also the full music mix as it stands exactly. So here we are. This is exactly how we're thinking and listening while we're tuning the cars. Now we're taking measurements as well, but a lot of this is reinforced and validated by ear, and this is where I come in. I'm not a scientist, but I'm deeply involved in music mixing, so it's my ears and my subjective impressions, along with these measurements, that give us the results we're looking for. Next, we look at spatial features, such as we check the quantum logic immersion system, we look at Dolby, make sure it's working properly, the Atmos, and also the venue scapes live. In this case, case, I've had the fortunate opportunity to work in Boston Symphony Hall as part of my career. So I was able to bring my experiences in, and we were able to tune and get an even more realistic impression of this virtual space in the car. From there, we went to the track, and this was really a fantastic time for me. We were able to compare, sorry, I'm skipping one thing. As part of our tuning process, we took a lot of time comparing the Mahindra cars to its benchmark models, other EVs that are currently available on the market. And we were carefully keeping track. And I have to say, with the Harman Kardon system in the Mahindra cars, with the work that we've done, we were able to match or even exceed a lot of the other luxury EVs that we were comparing to.
If you had to give a score out of 5, what will you give the score?
Sure, simple scale 1 to 5. Some of these cars, in my opinion, and we were being very critical, but they rated in the 3s and the 4s, but we found that the Mahindra car, we took to a 4.5 out of 5, and there was only one other car that we also gave a 4.5 out of 5, and it had a much more expensive sound system. So we're really in great shape with this.
And a few words about your experience in the test track.
Yes, so thank you. So in the test track, this was fantastic. I love music. I also love to drive. My first time on a track, very impressive. We drove upwards. I was going over the limit I was supposed to. I went to about 180 kilometers an hour. This was really thrilling. And I have to say, the sound system remained consistent and accurate and really powerful, even at high speeds. We also went from smooth to rough road surfaces, and the sound system immediately compensated. It was seamless and effortless. It was truly an incredible experience for me. Just one last thing I wanted to mention, though, being invited to this collaboration, it's been fantastic working with the Harman engineers, meticulous work that they do, but they're also very open to my input as an outsider, and also the Mahindra dedication to the project, where they provided, I believe, 8 vehicles almost a year ahead of the release to the Harman team so that the tuning could be done with precision, and I think the result really is a premium audio system. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming
is the place you stay in love with your vehicle. It's driver focused, of course, inspired from our race heritage. There are details which are inspired from, fighter jets. So for example, like a thruster, and you'll see what these are. So that intense driver focus on the B6C makes it entirely yours. Again, the overhead console, directly inspired from the aircraft and, the fighter plane industry. But of course, we will carry friends and family in the same vehicle. Now, from the exterior, Vijay, that's amazing. Like you saw, the B6C is so much like Ria, bold, strong, willing to take on challenges. When we were designing the EV9E, it was a completely different brief for a completely different customer profile. So if you see this story, it's about power, about poise, about control, about sophistication. It's about refinement of those smallest details that Vijay spoke about, the XEV brand. And again, we'll show you a fly-through of the XEV90. Of the XEV90. So again, here you see, the challenge and the great thing for a design team actually, even though the XEV9E is built on the same electric origin Inglo architecture, we've managed to give it a completely different personality. It all starts with proportion. So if you look at the strong, powerful hood length that then sweeps into the front windshield, all the way onto the roof and then into the back of the car in one single unbroken line. It's truly beautiful. Again, our SUV heritage in the large wheels, the amazing ground clearance that Velu-san will take you through, and the approach and departure angles. And finally, for that unmissable on-road presence, the shoulders. That for us really defines the XEV9E. Again, if I talk about now the surfacing, you saw in the 6C that it's quite sort of geometric, very different, very bold. Here, it's about sophistication, it's about refinement. Every surface touched by hand by our global design teams to really make sure the way the light and shadow dances off the surfaces makes the XEV90 a truly beautiful, beautiful vehicle that you fall in love with again on first sight. And finally, for the exterior, a lovely new glowing Unlimit logo. These details on the grille, of course it's not a grille for cooling the radiator, but it still signifies the face of the car. The jewel-like headlamps, again worked with so much love. The detail around the lower part of the car, which again hints at our Inglo electric origin architecture, makes the XEV90 a real pleasure for the eyes. And finally, of course, it caps off with that end-to-end tail lamp. The interiors Vijay just mentioned is all about luxury. It's all about technology. It's all about materials, finishes. We've chosen the highest grade of these materials to create a space in the automotive world which is unrivaled and unmatched. The seating, the leg room, the headroom, the beautiful Mars roof or the glass roof makes the interior of the XEV a stunning place to be. I mean, you wouldn't want to actually step out, but that you have to do when you reach your destination, of course. So without further ado, I think we can show you. Vijay, would you like to come back or should I just say it?
I just wanted to very quickly say that saw the first part of the love story. Yeah, there is the of the next protagonist with the love story with the XCV9E. But I just also want you to keep in mind that you've seen one love story, you will see the second one now, and then we'll reveal the product for you. But then there is some continuity for which you watch the space in the future. Let's play the films. Cool.
तुझको जो मैं हो जाऊं पागल पागल तू चले जहां जहां पर दिल मेरा छुटे वहां पर मुझसे ही मुझे चुराने
XCV9E, Mahindra Electric Origin SUV.
My dreams, I see us always one look and I'm falling for you like crazy, crazy. When you move, my heart goes racing. Oh, the dream that I was chasing, you and I will be always together. Every heartbeat is only for you. Every breath, every moment's with you. My heart goes boom, boom.
Unlimited love.
My heart goes boom.
XCV9E, Mahindra Electric Origin SUV.
जहां पर दिल मेरा झुके वहां पर मुझसे ही मुझे चुराने वाले बूम बूम सुन मेरी सांसों को तेरी ही धुन बूम बूम मेरे सीने की धड़कन को सुन मेरी सांसों को तेरी ही धुन दिल बोले बूम बूम दिल बोले बूम बूम जो मैं हो जाऊं पागल पागल चले जहाँ जहाँ पर दिल मेरा झुके वहाँ पर मुझसे ही मुझे चुराने
Hey Rahul, welcome. Welcome Rahul. Mike for you.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to have you with us here.
Pleasure is all mine.
So Rahul, a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about what surprised you the most when you drove the XCV9E.
The instant torque. It's you put your foot on the pedal and it's like the car can read your mind. You know, there's no hesitation, there's no delay. It's just pure, effortless power. And I would also say that the 9E is really more than a car. It's an experience, right? It's luxurious, but it's unpretentious. It's powerful, but it's very serene. This feels like a car that understands not just the road, but it understands you.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Thank
My
you.
pleasure, yeah.
And what was the momentous occasion for you on the sets of the shoot? Tell us a little bit about the inside story.
The shoot was great fun. We had an amazing time. But the director and the photographer, they wanted a very brooding, intense look. But every time I was in the car, it was so exciting that I couldn't stop grinning. So I think that was a source of great frustration as well as amusement for the whole team.
Yeah, we could see that on your smile, and we can see that right now too. So thank you so much for being here with us.
My pleasure.
Maybe take a photo opportunity with you.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Can you get them? Wow. I told you, the twins. That's slides or? We talked about electric origin. And here is something that very interesting to see. The classical mechanic is settled in 1687, and therefore we had aeroplanes and cars and flying everywhere. But it took about roughly 200 years more.
This one is your current slide. So just keep a watch on that.
Yes.
The slide is there.
So these electric origin vehicles that we have designed is really based on electric origin principles, which we will explain to you. But before that, I would like to set a context. The context is that we are comparing with the luxury brands of roughly about 50 to 70 lakhs. If you were to buy it in UK or ST, ex-showroom, VAT included. And we are not comparing two, but we are comparing four for two. And let's see whether these two wins the four. That's a game for next 40 minutes. To take the game forward, we have an Inglo platform derived out of electric origin. And I will explain what this electric origin is all about. It's about 1687 when Isaac Newton released his classical mechanics. He settled everything for classical mechanics. And you had automobiles, and you had aeroplanes, you had ships and everything. But it took about James Clerk Maxwell, who came in 1885 and settled the theory for electromagnetism. It took some time because you don't see the electricity. So therefore, to take the origin of electric is very difficult, and that's why you see certain delay in electric vehicles into the market. But nevertheless, we follow three principles from the shoulders of these giants that you see in the picture. Number one, Voltaire told us, never reduce a single cell. Add as much as possible more cells into your vehicle so you can have more range. That's about energy or the battery capacity. You have to use available every millimeter of the space to use it to pack it with the cell, not with anything else. That's a rule number one. Efficiency. We talk about electric vehicles, but at the full charge, if it is 400 volt, is it 400 volt at 50% of the charge? Is it 400 volt at 25% of the charge? That's a question. Because what determines the efficiency in electric vehicle is the voltage. Number one thing is the voltage. We maintain in our electric origin vehicles constant voltage levels across the SOCs of the battery pack. That's the number two. Safety. Whether it is water, whether it is fire, you put the battery on the fire, you put the battery on the water, you drop the battery from 10 meters, you take a truck and run the battery over it. It has to be safe because we don't want such a high power electric system to do anything else other than powering the vehicle. That's the most important thing. In our electric origin, that's what you are going to see today and tomorrow. That's the beauty that Inglo, that's in front of you. When we put a flat 100% used flat floor, you get 79 kilowatt hour and a safe battery pack with LFP cells. You would immediately notice it. The electric motor is in the rear and there is nothing in the front. We used it for the front. In the subsequent slides, you will see what benefits it gives. But one thing you will notice it, in the event of a frontal crash, there's nothing except the frunk to go and crush with the battery pack. The motor is in the rear. That's rule number 4 in electric origin vehicles. I-Link is the suspension system that we brought it. It's a patented technology from MRV. Likewise, you have a 5-link in the rear. That is again a patented technology. So you have a front I-Link and you have a rear 5-link. That sets the ride forever and setting the standards in ride and handling. The platform allows you to do magical. Inglo is all about magical also. You have seen 2 different vehicles. One vehicle is, Pradap-san created it, I already told you, 4789 millimeters, it's very easy to remember. And another vehicle is 4371. It's a smaller one of the spectrum and a bigger one of the spectrum. And you see beautifully what Pradap did is, only in the front and the rear he has changed the stuff. And over the roof silhouette he has aligned it, but there is nothing, no change in the Inglo platform at all. So both 6E and 9E comes from same Inglo platform. This is the parental platform. This platform brings the core Mahindra DNA. When it comes to battery electric vehicles, you do not only care for the safety of the passengers, but you do care for equally for the battery pack. That's the most important thing. What you need to give is the absolute ground clearance for the battery in the middle of the battery. By giving a ground clearance closer to the tire, it doesn't make any difference because the tire anyway goes over the obstacle. But you need to give in the middle of the battery pack. You will see, compared to the luxury 4 brands, where we stand, whether it's XEV9E or the 6E, stand out of the world. Sets the new Everest standards for this battery ground clearance. The second is the customer has to see the road in India. So we say it is a hitch point, the driver hitch point, and also it's applicable for the co-driver. You see the dimensions and you yourself immediately we realize that both the 9E and 6E set new standards in hitch point for the driver visibility. Once we settled about the driver visibility, next we are in space. The front row driver space is the most important thing. As you see it here, the XEV E9 has 1617 liters and the 6E has 1522 liters. To its nearest comparison, Luxury 4 is way ahead. Likewise, the Luxury 1, 2, 3, you can compare 1617 is way ahead for the 9E. I can compare the headroom and legroom. It's incidental, as you see, they are very similar numbers. But one thing I would like to point out about the shoulder room in India, it is so important. And you can see we set a new benchmark on the shoulder rooms for both 9E and 6E with 1522 millimeters in 9E and 1436 millimeters in 6E. Front space. I told you about the electric origin principles, that once we have moved the motor to the rear, we have beautifully carved out a space for whatever you want to keep it, about 150 liters of the frunk volume for 9E and 45 liters for 6E. In case of 6E, the length dimensions, the competition does not have a frunk, but of course 115 is by far the new benchmark in this industry. I am not comparing the boot volume. Of course, you will see the boot volume sets the new benchmark. These measurements of the boot volume is according to the VD ISO standard, which means up to the seat height. If I were to measure to the roof height, you will have further volume. But if we set measuring up to the seat height itself, it sets a new benchmark. The rest, the customers will set the new benchmark for us. We talked about pace. What driving dynamics? Each vehicle have their own characteristics, but what are the four very important parameters for any customers to get the car? Is the ease of driving the car, of course the ride comfort, the handling comfort, and the fun to drive, what we call as a performance. You take a 180 km per hour or a 200 km per hour and you take a turn in a high-speed test track, or in a curve you take a turn, or hill stations you drive. We commissioned IDIADA, an independent agency, and we got all these four luxury brands and we asked them to independently evaluate and get us the rating, and that's where you stand. 7.75 for both 9E and 6C, either equivalent to one of the luxury brand 2 or beating them luxury brand 4 and 1. It sets a new standard. This shows that if you derive the product from the single platform, how it benefits us to the products. So it is the benefit of Inglo platform that you see it here. Once we have certain elements settled for the vehicle dynamics, then you are looking for the ride quality. The ride quality is very simple. A lot of people define the ride quality very differently, and I have one simple measure for you. You define the acceleration in the forward direction when you press accelerator and brake it, but the road surface also is accelerating the vehicle up and down. And when it is up and down, it can be 0.3 G to 0.8 G. What you see here is the blue color. It's going up to 0.8 G on the last corner of the curve. It can go, such is the road construction that we have it. You can also have a quiet roads. But what you see is the red color is the vibration levels that a driver or a co-driver or the rear seat is experiencing. You can see it, it's very well isolated. The car is very well isolated. That's the beauty of the intelligence semi-active suspension system that comes in Inglo platform, that goes in 9E and 6E. It has been tuned to multi-mode. So you have a suspension mode for all the drive modes of the vehicle, the powertrain modes of the vehicle. And it reacts in 15 milliseconds. So you measure the steering angle, you measure the acceleration, you measure the brake, and you measure the movement of the suspension. All of these inputs go to the controller. The controller reacts in 15 milliseconds. The moment you go over the speed breaker, by the time you move another 30 millimeter of the speed breaker, the damper is reacting. That's as quick as it. Tomorrow when you drive it, you will feel it. That's how we are able to bring in such a ride quality in spite of 0.8 G going over on the surfaces. The rating obviously you see there. Once you settle the ride, the next thing that you are looking for in the cars is how quiet is the cabin. And it took a lot of effort for us to get a quieter cabin in electric vehicles, because you know the tire noises are extremely high. The tire noise is the one that is penetrating into the cabin, as the electric motor is not making any more noise. It took us a lot of effort for us to get up to 120 to retain this above 90%, the AI quality, that's the articulation index. I have many times mentioned about the articulation index, that if I speak, if my wife is able to hear exactly what I am speaking, that's 100%. If she loses me 10%, 90%. we set the Everest standard here, Unlimit India is 95%. It sets a new benchmark, and that curve comes as linearly as possible until 110, 115 kilometers per hour. As you ride this car, you will believe you need certain other elements in this car to hear the music, to love, to many things that we will set in. But right now you see it, it's absolutely a quiet car that you will ride on. As you drive the car, now you expect, okay, you have ride, you have NVH. What about the turning circle? Can I take this car into the city and then say, can I turn this car in the smallest possible turning circle radius with the smallest effort? Here we brought the technology called variable gear geometry into the steering system. You have heard about variable geometry turbochargers for the engines, but our engineers thought about, why don't you bring that into the steering system? Because after all, you are accelerating it and you are performing the vehicle. After all, you are turning the steering wheel, put the variable gear geometry there, and that's what we did. There you see the Inglo is just breaking the trade-off line. We are not anymore moving between this long to long steering angle versus the turning circle radiuses. We set new benchmark and we get such a large vehicle, we get 10 meters turning circle radius with incredibly lowest steering effort. Brake. This is the most important thing. Before I go to acceleration, I want to tell you something about the brake. In an electric vehicle, it is just opposite of the ICE vehicle. In an ICE vehicle, you get the max torque at 1600 RPM. In electrical vehicle, it's 10 RPM, you are at boom. That's what Rahul said and Ria said, right? At 2-3 RPM, you are at the max torque. You need a powerful brake. We throw away all the ICE engines braking system. We brought the new braking system. In the ICE vehicles, you have about 450 milliseconds to brake. And he said we make it half, 200 milliseconds. It acts. And we use this braking system to the most advantage to deliver the customer to the range. This braking system is not braking by the brake system, but it allows the e-motor to brake and regenerate the energy. And the last bit, the braking motor will come into picture. Actually, the braking motor, the braking system is doing a very smart job. It's asking the electric motor to brake it because you accelerated it. And now the last moment when you have done your job, I will come and step in. And that's what these two guys are doing. And we needed a different system to interact with the motor. And that's how this powerful, intelligent braking system comes into picture. That's why we say it's an electric origin. Once we settled all these brakes, steering, suspension, all of them, then we thought about the customers. Do we do something for them? We know about their health, the UV radiations. The UV radiations are split into three: UVA, UVB, and UVC. The UVA is a long wavelength and it just penetrates the atmosphere. It doesn't listen to the ozone layer and it comes and touches your skin and you feel bad. And we said, no, we cannot allow that to customers. And we put a laminated glass. You usually have it for the windshield. And we put it for the glass and we put it for the roof. And not UVA rays can penetrate into 6E and 9E. Stop it before. You cannot get into the cabin. And we filter it to 99.5%. It gives a comfort and additionally it gives you range, because in the next slide you will see I'm able to cool the vehicle so fast, 40 minutes faster than the other vehicles, because the UV rays are cut off by the windshield, the glasses and the roof. Also, you have an excellent cooling system that is throwing about 535 meters per hour air. And we have measured it in the benchmark vehicles, and I really didn't believe it when I saw this from the best benchmark vehicles. There must be something wrong. Then I commissioned an agency, independent agency. I asked them, look, there's a 40 minutes difference. I took the vehicles to Rajasthan, I put these vehicles in the sun, and I'm seeing this. They told me one story. Look, those benchmarks are operating in a different terrain. They are not experiencing 40 degrees and 60 degrees, and therefore their systems are not designed for handling these temperatures. You have designed it from the beginning because you have a lineage of handling minus 10 degrees to plus 60 degrees. And therefore our systems guarantee you that it cools extremely fast from 40 degrees to 24 degrees about 40 minutes earlier than the competition. That's what you see it. We also have installed 2.5, the PM sensor 2.5 in the air induction system. When you suck the air, we care for you. We don't want the nanoparticles to go into your lungs. We have installed what is called as VR LED. The VR LED is looking for those particles, sending the VR rays, visible rays, and kill them. Whether it is odor, whether it is microbes, whether it is any other small microorganisms, we kill them and we make it purified, smart air purifier that we have installed in the air filter system. We have also installed activated carbon filter that again filters. So these two act in combination to give the best air quality. We also indicate in our dashboard the air quality indication using this PM sensor. You will see it. What is outside and what is inside, you will see it. Once we settle for all of this, the most important thing, closer to the heart of Mahindra's engineering, every vehicle that we launch, we say 5-star. And we don't compromise. Now we don't compromise for adults, we don't compromise for children. In both cases, we achieve 5-star rating. This vehicle is yet to be homologated, but we know from our internal results, we will achieve these results. I have explained multiple times about the ring structure and how the energy is taken, and you all know it, and you will educate me now. But one thing I would like to point out, that it has a ELR, emergency locking retractor. It's not a regulation, but we bring it for all the seats. We also bring it an airbag that gives the 7 airbags story. So once we settle all of this, then let's go into battery. Battery is one of the questions always asked by everybody. There are so many questions about battery. We will unveil and peel off all these questions and try to give the answers to you as best as possible. But to answer, we needed very important 4 innovations in this to be done. Cell-to-pack technology is the most important thing that allows me to put maximum number of cells in a given areas. You don't have an intermediate module, you just put the cell into the pack. That's called compact lean module. Together gives me the ability to get 79 kilowatt hour in LFP cells. In this space, it is not easy to get 79 kilowatt hour in LFP. It's only possible in NMC. But we did it, and that's why we call it as advanced LFP plate cells with cell-to-pack technology. We introduced a bottom transverse cooling that gives me to put this battery pack into Rajasthan and run forever, and nothing happens to the battery. And I don't derate the engine or the vehicle performance at all. We also take a nail and pierce through the battery and see what happens to the battery cell. And you will see it tomorrow, nothing happens to it. And you will also see it tomorrow, what happens to the competition. This is the 4 patents out of the 35 patents that's very close to my heart. the range that you always would like to hear. The certified range is what? 1st April 2024 onwards. Let me back up and say 31st March 2024, we are allowed to use phase 1 as per ARI. And ARI redeclared, said you have to use phase 1 and phase 2 of the vehicles being certified from 1st April 2024 onwards. And therefore, the certified numbers stand at 682 and 653, 656 for 79 kWh vehicles. We also tested for WLTP for European comparison. That's the number 550 and 533 number that stands very close by bigger vehicle and smaller vehicle. But your question is, what happens in the real world? We took a 6 months journey to figure it out what's happening